Near the cross of Jesus stood Mary and her sister, his mother and her sister, as well as Mary, the mother of Cleopas, and Mary Magdalene. And when Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother, "Woman, here is your son." And he said to his disciple, "Here is your mother." So that from that hour, this disciple took her into his home. I heard this message years ago and I adopted it, and I've preached it, I think, at every church I've preached it at. And this year I thought, I'm going to preach it here. And I've made a joke before that on Mother's Day we seem to say, "Mothers, we appreciate you, and here's how you need to treat your mama better." And on Father's Days we tell men, "Come on guys, get it in gear. You need to be better men." No promises on what's coming for Father's Day. But there's something we need to be reminded of, that we need to appreciate and love our mothers. Mary witnessed the crucifixion from the foot of the cross. Can't even imagine what a mother would feel like at that moment. I've sat beside and knelt beside and sat beside many a mother who was losing her child. Thankfully, most of the times they weren't young, but still, there's something in us that says this shouldn't be happening. And for Mary, how much more? Because she knew Jesus was special. And as she's seeing this take place, Jesus turns to who most scholars believe is John and says, "Take care of my mother. Look at her and take care of her. Live as if she was your mother, that you were her son." And John took care of Mary till she went to heaven. Jesus is hanging on the cross. He's bearing the sins of the world upon him. And he's recorded of saying 7 things. And each time you have to say something from a cross, you got to make sure to get enough breath. Because one of the things about crucifixion, it caused suffocation. You couldn't hardly breathe. So you had to pull up on the arms, which caused extreme pain, to get the breath. And usually it was just enough breath just to stay alive 1 minute longer. If any of you ever had a time where you felt like you couldn't get your breath, you understand you would do anything to get one more breath. And yet Jesus took that breath to take care of, make sure his mother was taken care of. I think that says something about God. It says something definitely about Jesus. And so I think today I'm going to look at 7 ways we can love your mother. Because if Jesus took the time on the cross to make sure that his mother got the love and the concern and the needs met for her, well, maybe we should try to love our mamas too. One way we can love our mother is to love her verbally. Men usually have a philosophy, I don't have to say I love you. You already know it. I told you before, and if I change my mind, I'll let you know. And you know, women need to hear, I love you. Guys do sometimes, but women need it a lot more. Children need to hear it. Spouses need to hear it. One Dear Abby article said, I listened shortly after Pearl Harbor. 36 days later, I was on my way to the Philippines. En route, the Philippines, I fell to the Japanese. We were routed to Australia. 11 days after we landed, I met the most beautiful girl in the world. Our first date, I told her I was going to marry her. I did 18 months later, while on 10-day R&R leave from New Guinea. After more than 57 years of marriage and 2 children, my beloved Mary died 5 days before Christmas. Though we agreed to put our ashes scattered over the mountains, I found I could not part from her. While Mary was alive, she would frequently say, "Don't you know how much I love you?" I'd reply, "Likewise." I never really said I love you. Now her ashes are on my dresser, and I tell her several times a day how much I love her. But it's too late. Although I wrote poetry to her, I could not bring myself to say the 3 words I knew she wanted to hear the most. As my dearest was dying, and we thought she was comatose, I told her there aren't enough words to tell her how much I love you. A few hours later, she whispered, "Not enough words," and died. The reason I'm writing this is to urge men to express their feelings while their loved ones are alive. I don't know why, but many men are reluctant to express the depth of their feelings. Missing Mary in Colorado. They need to hear you love them. They need to hear it verbally. Our spouses need to hear it. Our children need to hear it. And our mothers need to hear it also. So men, yep, I'm going to pick on you guys. Say, "I love you." You may not be comfortable with it, but it's good to say. Also, love her physically. When was the last time you gave her a big hug or asked her, or without her having to ask for it? Or gave her a kiss on the cheek, or just sat beside her? She's the first person who ever touched you. She wrapped you up with her womb for months. You came out the first priority to hold you, to cuddle you, to stroke your head, to rub your feet, held your little cheeks against hers, gave you a finger to grasp. In love, she did all these things, including grooming you and maybe even cleaning you up a little bit. It's disgusting. Oh. She changed your diapers, potty trained you, held Kleenexes for you to blow your nose. She wiped food off your face for years longer than she should have, probably. She is constantly there to touch you. And there's something to be said about touch. There's something to be said about walking down or walking over. Yeah, I want your hand. Say, "I appreciate you." That means a lot. My wife knows that. Because with her autoimmune disease, she's been told, try to avoid touching a lot of people. Try to avoid getting a lot of extra hugs. She knows it. So if you got the chance, do it. There are some people we know that just don't want to be touched. But most people, they need that physical touch. That reminder, I'm here. It means something. So touch your mom. Hold her hand. Remind her that you love her. But not just physically or verbally, but love her patiently. Because moms are never, we never get impatient with our moms, right? Yeah, well, maybe we do. Mothers have an incredible job with no pay. Before, years ago, when they've got it a little better now, they call it homemakers. But years ago, a woman, when they went in to apply for something, would have to say, no occupation. So here's a poem about the no occupation. She rises at the break of day, and through her task she races. She cooks the meal as best as many, and scrubs the children's faces. While school, books, lunches, homework too, all need consideration. And yet the census man insists she has no occupation. When breakfast dishes are done, she makes a pudding maybe. She cleans up a room, maybe two, with one eye watching a baby. The mending, the tasks she attacks by various ways. And yet the census man insists she has no occupation. She irons for a while, presses pants for daddy. She welcomes cheery smile, returning lad and lass. Hearty dinner next she cooks, no time for relaxation. And yet the census man insists she has no occupation. Though the poem ends right there, I'll add one other thing. She runs them to soccer and every place else, and yet she has no occupation. Except maybe taxi driver, and cook, and accountant, and homemaker seems rather small. And in today's world also, for many of them, they're also expected to keep a full-time job. So the occupation is far bigger than we realize. Don't ever make the mistake of asking a lady, do you work or stay home? If you didn't figure it out after what I just read, there's no hope for you. That's probably the worst thing you can do, except for looking at a woman and say, are you expecting when she's not? That's worse. But only barely. It's hard. It's hard being a lady. It's hard being a mother. Here's the point. In spite of all of this, it's sometimes easy for them to become impatient, so they try not to. And sometimes we get impatient. Why isn't that done? Why are those clothes still dirty? You looked at the list of things I had to do today. You know, we don't often. So maybe we need to be a little bit more patient, considering all we ask them to do. She's 5 minutes late picking you up. Why are you late? What has she had to do for you before that point? So let's love her patiently, because there's no need to take advantage of this person who's giving so much. For teenagers, it's unfair for you to be more kind and considerate with your friends' mothers than your own. If you treated your friends like you treat your mom, would they be your friends? Mom deserves better. She's not a white rug to wipe every negative thought on. But beyond that, we need to love her attentively. Mothers, listen as they pour out your heart. They have a sympathetic ear. And many times is there, listening when they'd rather be someplace else. Why? Because they love you. So take a moment and listen when they talk. It means more than you know. None of us like to be talking to somebody and realize they haven't heard a word you've said. So at least maybe this next week, when mom or grandma talks, set down the phone And actually, I know that maybe just turn it away from yourself if you can't actually set it down. I know for some people it's kind of glued to your hand. So just turn it away a little bit and pay attention. Be attentive. That little thing does more than you know. A documentary. Yeah, this is annoying. Like I said before, this is God's way of making sure I stay humble. Yeah, they made something about facts, a movie. The last year of a man going to be executed for capital crimes, they interviewed the men and their mothers, and invariably, the moms would say, "He's such a good boy." The interviewer was like, "Do you know what he did?" "I know, but he has a good heart." It's no wonder we like talking to our moms. So maybe we should be listening a little bit more closely too. Because it means a lot. Besides loving her attentively and patiently, let's love her gratefully. An elementary science class had been studying magnets and how metal objects are attracted to them. At the end of the semester, a teacher put an exam on the question. 6 letters, M, picks up things. What am I? Mother was the number one answer. We need to sincerely thank our moms for the good things they've done. For those women who've been very special in our lives, let's be grateful. Especially today. But not just today. More often, be grateful. Also, love her generously. Think about it. This person gave you life. There's nothing too good we could ever repay. She spent her life helping to meet our needs. Without her, we wouldn't be here. So when she needs something or wants something, let's be generous. A math question stated, state your answer as a fraction. A teacher asked, if there's 10 at a table and 1 apple pie, how much does each one get? One child answered, 1/9. To which the teacher said, you don't know your fractions. To which the child said, you don't know my mother. If there's that many people at the table, only 1 pie, she won't get any. So let's be generous in return for what she's given up for us. Along with these things, besides loving her generously, love her honorably. Exodus chapter 20, verse number says, honor thy father and thy mother, that my days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. This is not saying that since your mom brought you in, she can take you out. That's because you should honor her, because if not, she's going to let you know. No. Honor her because of what she's done. I know for some people this is hard because they've had mothers that weren't always the best. Let's just be honest. We got a world that's broken. And though that we have a lot of great mothers out there, we have some that are less than honorable. But for those who have lived, I've seen there's usually someone who's taken that role, who's become a mother to you. Or maybe you've lost your mother and someone stepped into that place. Honor them too. Not just the mothers who gave you birth, but the ones who have been mothers to you. Give them honor. Show them concern. Love them verbally. Love them physically. Love them patiently and attentively. Gratefully and graciously. Love your mother. It says honor them. It has been said that the husband is the head of the home, then the mother is the heart. So don't break the heart. Fictional story of when God created mothers. When the Lord created mothers, it was into the sixth day overtime. An angel appeared and says, "We're doing a lot of fiddling around on this one." The Lord replied, "Have you seen the specs on this order? She has to be completely washable, but not plastic. 180 unmovable parts, all irreplaceable. Run on black coffee and leftovers. Have a lap that disappears when she stands up. A kiss that can cure anything from a broken leg to a disappointing love affair. Have 6 pairs of hands while only having 2. One pair she sees, and 6 eyes, or 4 eyes, sorry. One pair that sees through the doors when she's asked, "What are you doing, kids doing in there?" Which she already knows. Another in the back to see what she shouldn't. But she needs to know, of course, the ones in front, to look at the child when he goofs up and says, "I love you, and I understand." Without so much as uttering a word, I'm so close to creating something so close to myself. Already I have one heals herself when she is sick and can feed the family at the same time on 1 pound of hamburger, can get 9 years old to stand under a shower, and not only can she think, but she can be reasonable and compromise. Finally, the angel bent over, ran a finger across the cheek of the mother and says, "It's leaking," he pronounced. "I told you you're putting too much into this model." "It's not a leak," said the Lord. "It's a tear." "What's that for?" asked the angel. The Lord replied, "It's for joy and sadness, disappointment and pain, loneliness and pride." "You're a genius," the angel shouted. With a somber face on his face, the Lord said, "I didn't put it there. It comes naturally." How about hands for the crowning jewel of moms, the crowning jewel of our God's creation, women, mothers. Guys, let's give them a hand today. All right, stop. That was pitiful. I thought we did bad before. Let's try this a little more. All right. Let us show our mothers, those women in our lives, how much we love them, how much we appreciate them. They really are a special gift from God. If we can have our musicians come forward this time, we're going to sing one final song. If the Lord can take a moment from the cross to remember and show love to his mom, you can too today. God bless you. And now, Father, I ask that you help us today be a blessing to those around us. And Lord, for those who have mothers, Lord, let us be a blessing to them today. Watch over each one as they leave this place today. Let them feel your love and your grace. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. God bless. Happy Mother's Day.